And we're live. Hey everyone, it's Brian of the Tiny Crypto Blog. So I'm going to get right into the meat of things. We're looking at this here. The question: U.S. Strategic Crypto Reserve. It's live. It's going to happen. But is your Bitcoin still safe? So let's look at this one. All right. Ryan Rasmussen. You might remember him. He was pretty good. Pretty sure it was him that when the Bitcoin ETFs were still in speculation, he was coming out and saying, hey guys, here's the what's what, and here's what's going on the inside. Here's the probabilities. So here we go. I'm going to read it through. The end game was never. The US government buys, can I get this? Nope. Buys all the world's Bitcoin. A US strategic Bitcoin reserve means other countries are now incentivized to buy Bitcoin. Wealth managers have no excuse for not following suit. Financial institutions have no excuse for not following suit. Pensions, endowments have no excuse for following suit. The US, fear of the U.S. selling off is gone, which that's his take, but I'm giving it some weight. The U.S. will likely buy more. There's a higher probability of that, I completely believe. Likelihood of states buying just went up. Agree. Federal leads, states follow. Probability the government outlaws Bitcoin is definitely zero. The probability of outlawing Bitcoin is still zero, but not confiscation. Let me wax. So I'm going to use the example of gold. Private ownership of gold was not outlawed. What happened in 1933, and I only learned this probably in the last year, was that when the edict was issued for the U.S. federal government saying, private citizens, you must give up your gold. If there was no way to know if someone had gold, how are they going to know? How are they going to get it? How are they going to enforce it? Well, the gold that the U.S. federal government ended up confiscating was the gold that was being held in custody by, say, large banks, financial institutions, and things that were on the record as existing within custody. That's what got grabbed. If you had it underneath your mattress, in your own safe, even in a bank safety deposit box. I'm not sure if they had bank safety deposit boxes back in the 1930s or not. I never looked that up. But even if you had something like that, there would be no way for the government to know. No way for any agency to know, okay, there was gold there. So technically, you could still hold that gold, but to bring it into a transaction would suddenly shine it into the light of awareness, and then all of a sudden compulsory compliance is fallen upon you. Problem with Bitcoin is that it's a completely visible public ledger that anyone with an internet connection can make and see. Now, they don't know who is attached to an address. Is it a mining account? Is it an account for something you got for a crypto faucet? Is it something that you got for a rebate app? Is it something that you bought off and moved from an exchange? Nobody knows. Is it something where someone sold you Bitcoin for cash, someone traded it for something else, a car, another token, whatever? So we're in a situation where if you have KYC free Bitcoin, let's say you were mining it, that's something that can't be found. If it's something that you got off an exchange, well, that exchange is going to have records of who they offloaded Bitcoin to and that wallet address. And that wallet address is now on the public ledger. As soon as that transaction is confirmed, it's on the public ledger and it's traced, and there's now a name. And if they know who that name is, then the squeeze can be applied. You must report, you must comply. And it'd be easy to say, under the threat of imprisonment, fines, you must turn over your Bitcoin, or you must, if there's something were to happen down the road, there's still the threat that something could happen where, let's not forget COVID kids, extraordinary actions it melted people's brains, filled them with fear. And the net result was they were willing to do some really stupid shit. And one of those things might be, we need you to turn over your Bitcoin to safe, safe holding or custody managed by whatever agency, whatever third party is hired by a federal agency or department. Something that requires you to actually move that Bitcoin from a wallet that is tied to you. There is the risk of that. Is it possible? Absolutely. Is it probable? We'll have to see. And the problem, the downside is that there could be a window of compliance. You have 90 days to move your Bitcoin to XYZ address for custody holding or whatever it is. And if you don't move it, guess what? They're going to know, because it's in a public ledger. And if it's not moved, well, there you go. And they might say, hey, it needs to go to this wallet address. You can't mix it. You can try and obfuscate. So that's one. If the threat of confiscation, that is one of the things. Yeah, that is still the threat. Bitcoin ownership being illegal, that'd be complicated. But Bitcoin being confiscated, that threat's still out there. So something to keep in mind. I'm going to tie things up at that, because this was something where it's worthy of more than a short, because it's another threat to sovereign financial security. Is that the threat is still there, but the nature of that threat, the vector, the threat vector, that one still remains. So keep that in mind. And with that, you can follow TinyCryptoBlog and all the social media websites listed in the show notes. And with that, I will wrap up and say, be well, everyone. Talk to you soon.